This video is now in session, and today we're going to play this game again. We're going to be playing the New York Times game where we guess if voters in a neighborhood voted for Biden or for Trump just by looking at their neighborhood. So here we have a pretty modest neighborhood. I don't see any trucks, and again there will be biases in this video just like in the last video because there's not really, for this kind of game it heavily relies on stereotypes between Republicans and Democrats. Stereotyping is wrong, but unfortunately there's not much else we can go off of. There's no concrete evidence, so stereotyping is sometimes needed. Now, because I don't see any trucks around here, and I think that's a car. If we look at the other side, I think I saw a radar enforcement, like a speed enforcement. Yeah, there's a speed enforcement there, so because of that, I will say Biden. Yeah, Sandy, Utah, 56% of times vetoes. Oh, Biden won by just 6 points. So, correct. And then here, we have a little bit more rural, so I'd be more inclined to say Republican. Yes, Monroe, Georgia, Trump won by 60 points. Here, this is, oh gosh, if this is Texas, this is, again, not going to be good. This looks like, again, a modest neighborhood. I'd say it looks like Utah, Republican. Okay, maybe not Utah, Mount Vernon, Indiana, 43 points. But yeah, it's kind of more rural, even though these houses look a lot like a suburban neighborhood. But the fact that they're so far spread out and the fact that the road doesn't have yellow markings or any sidewalks means that this is most likely a Trump neighborhood. Now, while I play this game, I'll also talk about the future of this channel, both in the short term and in the long term. This looks like a Biden place, and I'd say the future of Partisan Satire in the short term is that I will be going somewhere. That's why I'm recording this video today on June 17th, or actually, no, yeah, I'm recording it on June 17th, and I think I'm also releasing this on June 17th, but I'm recording this primarily because I'm going to be gone for some time since I'm going somewhere. It's been a very long time since I've traveled anywhere, and because of the pandemic, and obviously I do want to go somewhere, and that's why that's why I'm not gonna really be recording videos live in the for the trip. It's not because I want to have a fun time in the trip and not think about YouTube and just making videos. I make these videos for fun, but it's not because I don't want to think about it. It's because I usually use a microphone to record these videos, and I cannot bring my microphone on my suitcase because it's pretty heavy. So, unfortunately, it's really just because of bureaucratic stuff. But I will have pre-recorded videos up for some time. It'll probably go all the way to early July. Biden, yep, Sacramento. It'll probably go through July, and I will be pre-recording videos throughout that time. There may be a few videos where I do on the spot. So if there are major events like Benjamin Netanyahu no longer being prime minister, or Joe Biden introducing a new plan like the American Jobs Plan, then obviously I'm gonna record those videos on the spot. Oh, Staten Island, obviously. Staten Island is like it's has the community. It has the look of a Democratic place, but it's a lot more of a Republican. So that's the first place I got wrong. This is definitely Trump. But these pre-recorded videos, I'm going to be reintroducing the redistricting policy series, which was talking about redistricting in the 2020 cycle. We'll talk about states that are changing districts and how they're going to reapportion their places, but we're also going to start introducing the effects of redistricting. So, like, what are the effects of gerrymandering? Is that good for democracy, or how does redistricting affect race? Because we have the Voting Rights Act, we have the need to make districts more favorable for minorities, and as a result, redistricting has to account for that, and district maps are drawn in a way that really impacts who represents us and how politicians might choose voters. and that's what our redistricting policies series is going to go more into. For now, we're still going to stay with the what's happening with the redistricting itself, like how are the districts going to be apportioned, since there are a few states we haven't gone to in the previous series. We will go back to Illinois as well as New York, but we're also going to go to Texas and potentially even Florida, where both of those states combined are gaining 3 congressional districts. So that's a series that's being introduced back into the system. And in the future of Partisan Satire, we're still going to post 1 video a day at 4 o'clock Eastern time, or 1 o'clock Pacific time. Obviously in the afternoon, not in the morning, because it'd be ridiculous for me to post them at 4 a.m. But it's we're gonna keep up with our schedule. Again, we do it for fun, and then we might divulge into more complex videos because we used to focus a lot on election videos. So how we would rate the 2020 presidential election, how we would characterize certain states. I just see a Biden-Harris sign right there. Just right there, giving me the indication that this is a Biden place. But anyway, we're gonna go more into policy matters. So, for example, maybe social issues like abortion, but also taxes and other things. And the thing is, obviously, those are more. It can be a very controversial topic to talk about abortion, and as well as maybe even infrastructure. And possibly as well as taxing the wealthy. But the thing is, the thing is though, if we want to actually start communicating with each other again, if we want to have an America that is friendly to each other, no matter if we're Republican or Democrat, then we have to have those kinds of discussions where we talk about our views. Now, again, Partisan Satire, we try not to conflict our election analysis and any kind of analysis with our policies. So for those kinds of videos, those will be partisan opinion videos, and we'll clearly mark that, but to make it transparent. But we do believe in talking about policies, since if we can't talk about policies, then we're only going to become more divisive, and we're less likely to figure out the justifications for the other side, because there are justifications for Republicans having their views, and there are justifications for Democrats having their views. Oh, this place is hard to figure out. I think it's Trump. Yeah, okay. But we have to figure out each other's views, or else we're gonna not know each other's views, and we're going to not realize that the other side has good points, that Republicans have good points when it comes to lower taxes, and that Democrats have good points when it comes to spending. So those points have to be taken account for us. If we don't really recognize the views of the other side, then we're not going to then we're just going to become more partisan. We're going to become more like Bernie Sanders, AOC, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, where we just constantly criticize the other party, and not and their opinions are valid, but if you just keep criticizing the other side for brownie points, then you're not going to be able to do anything. Like Bernie Sanders wants to get healthcare for all as a government mandate, but he's not going to be. He has to have the blessing of the Republicans. He's going to have to work with the Republicans to have that. And if you keep criticizing the Republican Party, and if you keep doing that without recognizing their views, then they're not going to be inclined to work with you. If you're a Republican, and you want to get something done, you will have to work with the Democrats. We're not in a one-party system, and thankfully we're not in a one-party system, but nope, got that wrong. Thankfully we're not in a one-party system, but the thing is though, if we treat it as a one-party system, then democracy is going to fail as it is. So we have to work with each other, and you can blame it on the Republicans or on the Democrats for causing all of these problems. But uh, ultimately, it's all of our faults that we don't talk more about politics. That we, when it comes to the dinner table, a lot of people say, "Oh, let's not discuss about politics." When we're in school, teachers say, "Let's not discuss about politics." Like, no, screw them, because we have to talk more about politics if we want to recognize the views of the other side. And even though it might be dirty, or even though it might get dirty to talk about politics, and even though it might be a little bit divisive to talk about it, at least we know the other side's opinions, and at least we know the reasonings and the mindsets of the other side. If we don't talk about politics, we won't ever know their mindset, and as a result, we'll feel like our mindset is right and their mindset, and whoever, it's like my way or the highway. That's more of the kinds of characteristics that we're having as an American society, politically speaking. And having that mindset is not really having that mindset is not beneficial for the future of America. And hopefully, talking about more about policies on partisan satire will help change that. But obviously, it does take all of us. Now, in the comment section, there have been a lot of comments about this, or there have been a couple of comments about this or that, about how my views are wrong in partisan opinion videos. And, I mean, you can say that my views are wrong, and I respect that, because I know that we all have different views. Oh, come on. This looks so much like a Biden place. I know that we all have different views, but just we all have to at least have respect for each other. If we don't have respect for each other, then we won't be inclined to talk to each other. And saying that I'm right, you're wrong, shut up. Shout out to Eugene Liang of the Try Guys, if anyone watches that. But saying that is not going to help. It's not going to help convince anyone to join your side, and it's not going to really help with trying to speak to each other as Americans. So that's my monologue for why we need to talk more about politics and policy, and specifically policy. So those kinds of economic policies. Green Bay. How is Green Bay, Wisconsin not Democratic? I guess it's won by Trump. Okay. But yeah, that's my monologue. This looks very much like San Francisco. But yeah. So now let's actually go back to the game, because even though I've been playing this game throughout the entire time when I was doing this monologue, I was kind of distracted from figuring out which neighborhoods were Biden or Trump. So here we see a suburban neighborhood. This looks more like a Biden neighborhood. Nope. Okay. Yeah, the truck should have given it away for me. It definitely seems like Trump. 24 out of 32. I'm starting to go down. This one. Oh, this one. I'm pretty sure I've seen this photo before in the previous time, or the last time I played this game. I saw this neighborhood, but I forgot which side it voted for. I'm going to just say Biden, but that truck makes me feel like it's Trump. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona. That makes a lot of sense. And then here, this looks more like Trump. Yeah, by just 1 point. And then here looks also like a desert neighborhood. I'd say Trump. Las Vegas. Okay, 52 points. See, when it comes to those kinds of places, it kind of ruins your stereotyping, because places like Nevada, places like Arizona, especially in Texas, you see a lot of trucks, and you're inclined to think Trump, but a lot of the times Democratic voters in those places also own trucks, so those kinds of stereotypes don't quite apply. Medina, Ohio, okay. But yeah, those stereotypes don't usually apply, which makes it a lot harder to guess. Okay, well, again, I guess, well, these two trucks really just didn't give it away. Alright, here this is almost definitely Trump. Duet, Florida, 68 points. Here is also Trump. Fairmont, West Virginia. Oh yeah, West Virginia. They had something about increasing the quality of education in their state, and that's a good idea for West Virginia, because if you have better education, then you're more likely to have a higher income job. So that might attract West Virginians who are already in the state. But with that kind of policy, they have to accompany it with actual jobs that can handle that high of quality of education. If you don't really have that quality education system paired with good jobs in West Virginia, then the next thing that's going to come is domestic migration outside of your state. People are going to move out of your state and into states that have higher income jobs like New York or Illinois instead of West Virginia. So the governor, Jim Justice, props to him for increasing the quality of education in West Virginia. But the thing is, he needs to pair that up with good jobs, or else his state is going to become worse, way worse in the years to come, because more people will move out of West Virginia because of that. Woodside, New York. All right. And then, but West Virginia, unfortunately, it's having an identity crisis right now because West Virginia relies primarily on coal. But the thing is, coal is a dying industry, and we've stated before that coal is unlikely to see its former glory. And with West Virginia, they don't really have anything else to rely on. Houston, Texas, obviously. See, these votes are really wide, which makes me think that it's Republican. But again, Texas breaks all stereotypes. But West Virginia, it's unfortunately seeming to be more of a state that's in demise. Obviously, I don't want to see any state go in the wrong direction, but it seems like West Virginia doesn't really have any other options at this point because they don't really have anything that attracts people to come to their state. They don't have tech companies who are in their state. They don't have any high income jobs. So it's really a state that's becoming worse and worse. So we'll have to see how West Virginia becomes, but it's really indicative of the Rust Belt, which is a lot of declines in the industries that they're currently seeing. And because a lot of the Rust Belt has relied so much on manufacturing, it becomes really hard to change industries to change to a more suitable and a more economically advantageous industry in just a couple of years. But I'm hopeful for that for the Rust Belt because even if you're a Republican, even if you're a Democrat, you still want all the states in the United States to succeed. So I'm gonna do 5 more places, and then I'm gonna sign off. Here I'd say Biden because these are kind of like suburbs, or no, these are townhouses, so it makes me think of Democrats. If this is Staten Island, this is really gonna screw with me. Okay, Kenosha. And then here is Trump. Okay, maybe not. 15 points. That's pretty large for it being so far east of east of Long Island. Usually, eastern Long Island is a lot more liberal. I mean, a lot more conservative. It's not liberal at all. But yeah, Rochester, is that Rochester? I'm gonna say Biden. Yeah, okay. And then trucks. This makes me think of Trump. And because there are a lot of COVID deaths here, this makes me think of Trump. No, I'm just kidding. No, but this does actually make me think of Trump. Okay, well, I guess not. I shouldn't have said that. Here, rich houses makes me think of Biden. You have Downey, California, and then this is the final one that I'm going to do. This one makes me think of Trump. Nope. Okay, I'm going to do one more since I got that one wrong. All right, this one really makes me think. Nope. Okay, I guess. Oh, gosh. This is going to be a streak of me just getting all of these wrong. Makes me think of Trump. Nope. Oh, gosh. All right. No, this one definitely makes me think of Trump. Okay, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. This video is now adjourned, and in the next video, it will be pre-recorded. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.